What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Breakdown, starring Kurt Russell. Breakdown tells the simple story of Jeff and Amy Taylor, a married couple doing a cross country from Massachusetts to California. During their ride, their car just happens to break down. While their car's broken down, this truck driver, he appears, very helpful, agrees to take Amy to a rendezvous point. Once Kurt Russell gets to rendezvous point, he finds out that his wife never showed up. And the whole movie is pretty much Jeff Taylor trying to find out what happened to his wife. And while he does so, he finds some very sinister things. So that's the overall basic plot line of Breakdown. This is a very simple yet very effective movie. This is how you do a thriller. You don't attach any accoutrements to it. You have a very simple story. You have a very solid cast. And you have a director who is really good at creating a very tense, suspenseful atmosphere while all the while not making this movie feel boring. It has a nice, good, rapid flow to it. It's never boring. You're always at the edge of your feet, edge of your seat. And like I said, it's backed by very strong performances. Now, is Breakdown a thriller movie that's gonna that once you see it, you're never gonna forget it? No, not really. No, at the end of the day, Breakdown is a very simple yet effective thriller. It's not breaking new ground on anything, but does that make it a bad movie? Absolutely not. Like I said, it's a very effective movie, and also, like I said, it's backed by a very strong cast. I think Kurt Russell as Jeff Taylor does a really good job of playing this everyman type of character. Kurt Russell as an everyman, he just works in that role because Kurt Russell doesn't have your stereotypical Hollywood look. He has like the dad next door look, but his performance as Jeff Taylor is fantastic. I think Kurt Russell is absolutely amazing in this movie. This was one of the very early roles I remember seeing Kurt Russell in, and I've always liked this movie, and I've always liked Kurt Russell in this movie. And watching it again 23 years later, my thoughts and opinions on this movie haven't really changed. No, I still think Kurt Russell is really good in this movie. He's backed by, like I said, a very good supporting cast that includes Kathleen Quinlan, J.T. Walsh, M.C. Gainey, Rex Linn. These are all very talented, character actors. With Kurt Russell, of course, as the name actor. And like I said, they all fit the roles perfectly. Jeff Taylor as the hero, he does a well job. I do think that the character of Amy, yeah, she is underutilized, and you only see her in like the beginning and at the end. But in those scenes, Kathleen Quinlan and Kurt Russell, they have a good enough chemistry, and I care about them as a married couple that I want to see Jeff find his wife before it's too late. And that just goes to Russell and Quinlan being seasoned actors, and they know how to get the audience to appreciate their characters. With the limited screen time Quinlan does have, she makes the most of it, and she does make Amy very, very likable. And Jeff and Amy do come across as a very loving couple. And you are rooting for Jeff to find his wife and take down these bad guys. Speaking of the bad guys, J.T. Walsh as the character of Red Bar, aka Warren. J.T. Walsh, this movie came out a year before J.T. Walsh passed away, and it's really a damn shame because if J.T. Walsh would have lived on, he could have carved out a good niche for himself as a good character actor in a villainous type of role. I thought J.T. Walsh as the villain comes across as very deadpan yet very menacing all at the same time. J.T. Walsh does a really good job at balancing the helpful Chuck as balancing out the helpfulness of his character, while all the while there's a sinisterness to him, and the whole nice guy thing is just a front for something much more sinister. And I thought J.T. Walsh balanced out those two different personalities very, very effortlessly and very, very fluidly. I cannot praise J.T. Walsh enough as the villain, and his deadpan delivery just adds on to an already very underestimated performance by J.T. Walsh. I got nothing bad to say about him. Rex Linn, who plays a sheriff, I thought in the scenes that he was in, I thought he did a good job as well. His character doesn't really add much to the plot when you actually think about it, so he's kind of a wasted character in that aspect. But I do like the henchman of the Red Bar character. I think all his henchmen, yeah, they're one dimensional. They're one dimensional. They're not villains you're gonna remember, but they're effective and they get the job done. If anything, the only memorable villain is the MC Gainey villain, since he's the one who pretty much is the one who sabotaged Jeff's car after they had a little confrontation at the beginning of the movie. And that's, of course, that's what leads on to the events of this movie. From a directorial standpoint, I thought Jonathan Mostow did a great workman-like job. Now, this movie, from a visual standpoint, is not going to break new ground, but it doesn't need to be. No, Jonathan Mostow is a seasoned director, so the visual and cinematography of this movie is all very, very solid and top-notch. Is it spectacular? No. Does it get the job done? And does the movie look and does it look like you're watching a movie? Absolutely. Got no complaints about Jonathan Mostow as a director. Got no complaints about the cinematography, because they're all jobs well done. And this movie does have some good visuals to it when you get close to the end. The action sequences in this movie are really well done. There's this really good chase scene in a car between the MC Gainey character and the Kurt Russell character, which is very entertaining. The whole last half of this movie, where Red is trying to kill Jeff and Amy in another car chase, is also very entertaining, especially when you have his two goons who are also chasing him as well. So you got 3 different cars chasing Jeff and Amy. It's a very, very intense, very nail-biting, yet very entertaining action sequences. And another thing I like about this movie, the action sequences are really well done. And to Jonathan Mostow's credit, he's really good at doing action sequences and making them look gripping and very entertaining. I mean, that's one of the main things I enjoyed about Terminator 2. The action sequences that Mostow does are very effective. They work, and the man's a good action director. So yeah, those are just my quick thoughts on Breakdown. As you can tell, I really like this movie. Despite some criticisms to it, I think Breakdown is a solid 8 out of 10. This is actually one of my favorite thriller movies. It's a simple yet effective story. It's backed by a really good, strong performance by Kurt Russell, and you have a very underrated villain performance by J.T. Walsh, while all the while you have a director who knows what he's doing and knows how to handle his action sequences, and you have a good enough supporting cast to make you fully invested. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Breakdown. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like this video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.